Welcome Libra to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 25th of March for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. On the screen now I'm sharing your event chart at midnight on Monday, and you can see the Moon is in your sign, preparing to go into the opposition with the Sun with the penumbral lunar eclipse. It's the only penumbral lunar eclipse this year, and critically, of course, you can see the South Node is in your sign as well. This hasn't happened for 37 years, so not a very frequent event for sure. But let's just revisit the solar eclipse in your sign of last October, because that gave you an opportunity to set your intentions as an individual, to not be so concerned about tuning into others, which you have so much of a gift for, and being more single-minded about what you needed to achieve in the following 6 months, because this lunation is an opportunity to test and measure how far you've come. Now, if you have felt deflected, it wouldn't be a complete surprise, because Uranus, the planet of change and disruption, forged an awkward angle to that eclipse, as did Neptune. Uranus may have made it difficult for you to totally focus on your own needs because of the energy of someone you're closely connected to, or financial issues may have also had quite a bearing as well, and Neptune may have been affecting your physical vitality, not least because there seem to be lots of demands and lots of needs that others have wanted you to fulfill. So as you reach this event with the Sun, and obviously the stack of other energies in the sign of Aries, the North Node, Chiron and Mercury, all in your 7th house, it would be easy to just keep focusing on the people pleasing. But it's important to check out that what you want from your life is still of primary importance and isn't being deflected too much. So that's really what I feel is the key at the start of this week. And what's going to help you enormously is Mars. Because Mars last week moved out of a very creative and quite sexy part of your scope, where he'd been for 6 weeks, and he's moved into Pisces. Not Mars's favourite location, can be quite reflective and can have a tendency to rake up old hurts and angers, but for you it's the 6th house. So I feel that what this will be doing for you is giving you quite the boost when it comes to your stamina. Because of course Saturn's been in your 6th house since last March 23, Neptune since 2012, and they have been draining. Mars is going to help you to set your boundaries more, particularly around what you will or won't agree to do for others. It's also going to make you much more aware of exercise. If you're someone who embraces physical exercise in your life, this will just help you to focus it in perhaps a slightly different way, but it gives you a lot of thrust. Also, as last week came to a close, Venus, your ruler in the same sector as Mars, your 6th house, applied brilliantly to Jupiter, the planet of opportunities, in your 8th house, which is those shared finances that I feel Uranus has been disrupting over the last 6 months. So it's possible the sacrifice and hard work that you've been investing can give you a reward, and that influence is still alive through to the middle of this week. Then Venus connects to Uranus, the other planet that had been causing the mischief, but in a very positive way. So by approaching your finances, but also your work, with that desire to help people and be of assistance, but just with a fresh view, maybe something that's felt stuck can be reconfigured in a new, more imaginative way, and someone can think you're absolutely brilliant because you're providing a solution that helps them. But you do have that stack of energy in house 7, which is about your relationships. If a relationship needs some work, or you'd like to bring a relationship into your world, or your relationship with yourself is your primary importance, you've got lots of opportunities to work on all of that over the next month, particularly But look at the position of the Sun right on your 7th house cusp, but then look at the position of Pluto. Now they connected to one another in an exact sextile last Thursday, but they're still in touch as we start this week. The critical thing is the Sun and Pluto can trigger transformations. Some of those can be inside of us in terms of our approach. Sometimes it can be in our outer world. But having the Sun in your 7th house, a very dynamic location for it, in the fiery sign of Aries, connecting with Pluto in your 5th house, of where you can demonstrate your flair, your artistry, your creativity, but also where you yearn for romance. That connection can be very positive this week for relationships. Now Mercury is in its pre-retrograde shadow. It's going to go retrograde on the 1st of April, but it's also augmented really well this week by Neptune. That compassionate side of your nature, which Neptune has been accentuating since 2012, you can still use that, but I think Mercury helps you, along with the Sun, the Node, less so Chiron, but certainly those three players can help you just to reinforce your boundaries, which I feel still continues to be an essential part of the story. But on Wednesday, Venus, your ruler, does go face to face with Black Moon Lilith. If you're in a long-standing relationship, maybe your partner could spring a little bit of a surprise upon you about something that they're not entirely happy about. But you know, it's much more likely to be to do with the domestic scene or some issue that they feel that you've not been quite as thoughtful or aware of as they would like. But remember, this penumbral lunar eclipse is reminding you of the need to stand in your power. You can work with other people very effectively. That's your great talent. But if you are in any way deprecating your right to have your voice, do the things that are individually important to you, which may mean being more independent, the moon in your sign, along with that south node, is saying, look, if there's habitual ways of being about leaning into other people's needs and not considering what you want from situations, this is definitely a time to push back on that and hold what you need from situations very tightly. Now, by the end of this week, Jupiter and Uranus tighten together within 3 degrees. That's going to go on through to the end of the first week of May. They come into an exact conjunction on the 21st of April, and they're going to be supported by Mars as well. Now, they're in your 8th house. If there has been something that's been quite a challenge around shared or business finances over the last few years with Uranus in your 8th house, Jupiter's been providing support since last May, but when you get to the 21st of April, you can really assess how far you've come. And the solar eclipse, which is going to occur on the 8th in the north and 9th in the south, in Aries, is going to give you an awesome opportunity to really fire up those skills you have around relating, but it's still important to stand in your power. And the outcome will be shown by that 3rd week in April. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Libra. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol.